G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video we're going to be having a look at Clear Linux, and this is going to be a dual boot situation. Now for this exercise I'm going to be using Elementary as the target distro here, but it's a Ubuntu base, so it will work on any Ubuntu base. I'm making this install video because on BigDaddyLinux Live last Sunday morning for me, that would be Saturday morning for everyone else, Saturday night for American time, sorry. I had Elementary running on my laptop. I've been actually running it on there since we did the Elementary challenge. So it's been running quite well and I've been quite enjoying it on my second laptop. Now what happened was I tried during the show, you probably would have noticed I was slightly distracted. I was installing and trying to install a dual boot situation with Clear Linux, and quite clearly it didn't work. I messed the whole thing up. So here we have Elementary running in Virtualbox here. I'm going to shut that down and we'll get on with the install. Now one thing I do need to do is find the dual boot situation for Clear Linux. So we'll have a look at that as well. Now thanks to Vince, Sleepy Eyes Vince, he did put some links in Telegram regarding Clear Linux and some installation processes and little tips and tricks and helps. So I come across this one. So what we're going to be doing is dual booting with Clear Linux and Elementary. Now I don't know if this is going to work because I actually haven't tried it since I messed it up. Now what I've done is, if you want to have a look at my VirtualBox here, this is what I've done. I've installed Elementary and it's also going to be Clear Linux. So what I've done is I've taken out the Elementary ISO here and connected, because it's installed, and then I've connected the Clear Linux ISO. So that's connected. So what we need to do is we need to boot that. And what we need to do is press escape during the booting process, and we'll get like a boot menu type thing. It looks like a little bit like a BIOS for, well actually that didn't work, did it? Let me try again. Okay, so this is really bizarre because I was pressing the key, the escape key many times and it wasn't working. So what happens in this situation, it only works when you're not full screen. So that's quite interesting. I don't know if that's a bug or normal behavior because I don't normally do this. So that's quite interesting. So what I'm going to do is go down to Boot Manager, and we've got Ubuntu there, which will more than likely boot into Elementary. This next one is the UEFI CD-ROM. Actually, it calls it the CD-ROM. So we'll hit that and we should get Clear Linux OS. So let's start Clear Linux OS. All right, so we have that started. Now let's go to the documentation here. And what it's recommending we do to start with is we need to shrink the disk. So I've just done a standard install. I didn't create my own UEFI or anything like that, so I don't know what it's done. I'm pretty sure it must have created a UEFI. I'm sure that's what it showed me. Elementary I'm talking about. So we need to shrink the Ubuntu root partition to free up some space. So we're going to do it the way that's recommended here. That's why I've done it this way. So we select the Ubuntu root partition, right click and select resize and move. So let's do that. So they've got gparted installed in here. So let's hit that. Authenticate that. Now there's our EFI system, which is good. We need that. Now I didn't create that. That's what Elementary created on its own with a simple install to disk only. So right click that and resize and move. So we've got 94 gigs there. Let's cancel that. And no, we're resizing, aren't we? What am I doing? All right, so I thought I was creating a disk. Okay, so we need to resize the disk. So let's halve it around about 45 somewhere there. We'll make it 48. make elementary 42 there, that'll do. We'll give Clear Linux a little bit more because we're going to create swap. So let's resize that. And let's check off the apply and apply. So that's successful. That didn't take long at all. So now we've got our unallocated space. So let's have a look what they're recommending here. So we've got unallocated space. There it is. So what it's recommending is we share the existing EFI system partition by designating as such. So right click the EFI system partition and you've got to give it the name clear boot with an underscore and all capitals. So that's what we're going to do first and foremost, is go to, I think it was name partition. Yep, we go to name partition and we're going to call that clear underscore boot and OK. Next recommended is to create a swap partition. So create a swap partition. So that's a simple thing to do. We'll just a new there and 819. Oh. For some reason my keyboard's not working. I don't know what's going on there. 8192, enter that. Make that a Linux swap and add. And then we're going to enter the name clear swap in the partition name that it says here. That's we actually probably got to apply that first. Right click, name partition, CLR underscore swap. Apply that. And then the rest of the disk is a new partition as well. Create Clear Linux OS root partition. So we're going to make the rest of that an ext4 and it's going to be called clear root. So let's do that. New. Leave it at that. That's going to be all defaults. Add that. Apply and apply. Close that. Right click. Name partition. Clear underscore root. And apply that. And apply. And close that. Okay, so that's our partitioning done. Next, what we're going to be doing is close the gparted, done that, and complete the remaining steps. Method 1, we need to close the gparted window and the Clear Linux OS installer will reappear with the newly defined partitions. So, well actually, I didn't do it from the partition, did I? That's okay. I think we need to use advanced. To install Clear Linux OS, complete any advanced options as desired. So let's do that. American English next. Select media, go to advanced. Missing clear root partition name. That's interesting. It's there. Maybe I need to check out what the clear root was all about. Maybe I missed a step. I renamed it wrong, didn't I? It's CLR, isn't it? Enter that and apply that, and that's what the problem is. Okay, everyone probably seen that mistake except me, because I'm too busy focusing. Okay, so let's start that and select installation media, advanced, confirm. So that's all ready to go. Yep, so that's already, we're using advanced, that's already done because it's picked that up. Manage user, so the username. Yeah, that was a fail. login name, yep, and password. Password must be 8 characters long. Oh me, oh my. Okay, confirm that. Telemetry, no, not on a Virtualbox, waste of time. And let's install. Selected media will be used, blah, blah, blah. Confirm. And we'll let that install. So while that's installing, the next bit is going to be a slightly confusing bit. So let's check that out. Boot Clear Linux using one of the 3 methods. Use systemd boot to boot Clear Linux OS and also chain boot grub. So what we need to do is we need to know which disk is for the EFI, the original EFI, which I think would have been SDA1, I'm pretty sure. So these are the examples given. If those correspond to that, that's what we need to work out. And what we need to do is we need to run these commands in the terminal. So this is what we need to do. We need to boot up the Clear Linux OS installer image. So we need to boot from after we finished the install. We need to boot again from the ISO. And we have to open a terminal. And then we have to identify the EFI systems. That's not a problem. We can do that quite easy in gparted. And then we have to mount Clear Linux. So we have to make a mount point here. And then we have to mount the root partition, which is SDA4. And we have to mount the boot partition as well. So we need to figure out which ones these are. So we'll do that. Okay, so that is the installation complete. We shall exit that and shut down the system. Power off. Sorry for any noise in the background. Have a shower close next to the room here, so it might make a little bit of noise. So now what we need to do is go back to Virtualbox and add the ISO for Clear Linux back in, because I'm pretty sure that, oh no, it wasn't deleted, so that's okay. So we're back into pressing escape key, gives us the boot menu. We go to boot manager, down here, and boot Clear Linux again. And we're going to follow the instructions. While that's booting, we'll have a quick look. We're going to follow these. So we need to make a mount point of Clear Linux and mount the Clear Linux root partition and also mount the boot partition. So that's what we need to do. Now you can sudo fdisk, but I prefer to use gparted to check these out because I feel more comfortable that way. So SDA1 is the boot. Now it's sharing the boot with elementary. Now that's one of the mistakes I made the second time I did it, is I didn't share the same boot. I made a separate FAT32, which I shouldn't have done. So I've learnt from that. So what we need to do is open a terminal, sudo, enter that. Now we're going to sudo mount. Now we need to mount the Clear Linux root partition, which is clearly SDA4. So dev SDA4 space /mount /Clear Linux with a / and enter. Then we need to mount the boot, which is SDA1. So we'll sudo mount dev SDA1 space /mnt Clear Linux /boot. Enter that. Now we need to make the systemd, that's just lower the full screen. So that's what we've done there. We need to make system boot the default boot loader. So we're going to put in that there. Sudo bootctl install esp-path equals /mnt/clearlinux/boot. Enter that. Now it's recommending we add a timeout to that, so we can select which one we want to boot. Sudo clr-boot-manager set-timeout. It's recommending 20, we'll make it 10, don't need that long. --path equals /mnt/clearlinux. Enter that. New timeout value is 10. Sudo clr-boot-manager update --path equals mount/clearlinux. So if we don't get no text output there, that means everything's gone well. Now it's recommending we add a system boot entry for Grub, which is this one here. So this is what we're going to do here. It's got the T command, which I think pipes the text into a file. So /mnt/boot/loader/entries/grub.conf, and then we go back arrow space capital EOF. We need to lift that up a little bit there. EOF. Then what we do here is we press enter, and then it allows us to put the text how it wants it. Title, grub, menu, enter, EFI /capital EFI /Ubuntu /grub by 64.efi. Enter, end of file. I think that's what that means, and we press enter, and that's done. So we need to unmount all partitions. So sudo umount /mnt/clearlinux/boot /mnt/clearlinux. And that's just about done that. So that's what we've done there. We've done all that. So you've got to remember, once you do that there, you've got to enter, and then enter, enter, enter that, and then enter. So now we can sudo reboot, and hopefully we can select operating system in Grub. I don't know if this is going to work. So we have a Grub menu there. Now let me have a look to see if I've still got the optical drive in there. Yes, I do. So we'll remove that. Cancel that. That's just file and close this machine down, power it off. And then I'll remove the disk from there. So storage and clear and remove the disk. And that's empty. Okay. We shall start that up again. Yep, that's the menu we're looking for. So Clear Linux and Grub menu. So what's the Grub menu give us? Elementary. So I'll just log into Elementary, make sure that's up and running and all working. So that all looks good. Elementary is running, no problem at all. Everything seems to be okay. That's good. As long as it boots, it should be fine. shut down and restart, and let's see if we get another menu, and we should be able to boot into Clear Linux. Clear Linux. Let's enter that. So that's the first time I've booted that in Virtualbox. I'm not sure whether we can get guest editions running here, but we'll certainly try. Let's run that. At least it asks us to run it, which is very unlike most distros these days. Yes, we wish to do that. Okay, so that was pretty quick. So let's restart that and see what happens. So we still haven't got full screen. Okay, so I just thought I would slot in this bit of video here back on the Virtualbox. Now we've got full screen. So I just wanted to let you know how I achieved that. I went through many of the procedures that you would normally do with most probably Debian Ubuntu based. But what we've done here is, if I arrow up here and look at my last command, sudo install-vbox-lga. And that is what gave me the full screen. I'm not sure if any of the other things that I tried was involved in achieving that. I doubt it very much because it never worked after most of the other things I tried. But I will put the a link in the show notes that tells you how to install Clear Linux on Virtualbox, including in amongst it will be this command here. So you can check that out if you're really keen on running Clear Linux in Virtualbox. If we have a quick look at the menu, you can see we've got some categorized menus here: accessories, internet, office, sound and video, and utilities. So that is a successful dual boot install with an Ubuntu base using Elementary in this case. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.